keep on making. Yes, you keep on making. Let it get away. You keep on making. Yes, you keep on making. Let it get away.
Hey, y'all, listen. Oh, look at my clothes all twisted up. Wait, hold on. Let me fix my... Oh, my God. Can I fix it? Now I'm not going to be able to fix my dress. All right, let me fix my clothes. Okay, I think I did it. All right, listen, guys. Okay, welcome in the building. It's Wednesday night. It's Trending Topics. We got stuff to talk about. Okay, the title is called Tragic. The title is called Tragic. Why are we calling it tragic? Shannon Sharpe may have settled that lawsuit with Gabby for an undisclosed amount. Thank you, Lakeisha. It's a dress, actually, but thank you. For an undisclosed amount. But guess what? He still has trouble lurking because Michelle, who is also accusing him of R-ing her, for some reason, she wrote a letter to the judge asking the judge to tell Tony Busby and Shannon Sharpe to not destroy the tape between him and Gabby. And I'm thinking to myself, what do a tape of him and Gabby having relations have to do with Michelle? But apparently, she wants to show some violent behavior, I guess. So the judge ruled in her favor that the S tape between him and Gabby cannot be destroyed because Michelle might use it in her lawsuit against him. Talking about messy. Shannon Sharpe, I don't think, is ever going to get back on ESPN, so he better work his YouTube channels, Nightcap, and his Club Shay Shay, because that's what he's going to have to do. He fumbled the bag. He fumbled the bag. Too much is given, much is required. Listen, and they said Joe Budden, like his podcast is like Joe Budden podcast is like number one. I think it was scheduled to make. Stay at home mom. Thank you so much. I guess it. What was I gonna say? They said it's scheduled to make $20 million this year. And Joe Budden runs that podcast out of his home in Jersey. People, do what you got to do. You never know when your thing is going to pop off. Shannon Sharpe out here fooling around. A big dummy. All of these men out here that is playing games, trashing away their funds. Shame on you. And you got kids. Your kids could have had that double-digit millions. Instead, all the money you have is going to end up in somebody else's hands, Shannon. Anyway, we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe. Like I said, tragic. I don't know if y'all watched this show. I believe it came on Bravo. The Tankards. A gospel family. They had a show for a minute. I used to watch the show. It was a cute little show. But honey, he got a granddaughter. And his granddaughter is out of control. She beat somebody up in the Walmart with an ankle bracelet on. And when you have on an ankle bracelet, you already got yourself in some type of trouble. So even though she was already in trouble for another incident, she finds herself in Walmart bashing somebody upside the head with some rocks in the sock, stole that person's Louis Vuitton bag, allegedly, and their iPhone. Come from good bones, my grandmother used to say. Good bones. Whole gospel family is your background, and you out in the street wilding out. I don't understand it. Like I said, tragic, but we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to give a little update in the beginning. The young man who we saw footage of them punching his window in, dragging him out the car, punching him in the face. There's camera footage of the before situation. Was he 100% compliant? No. But did he deserve to get punched in the face and punched and beat on? No. We're going to see him speak out with his stepfather. I'll show that little clipping. But we're going to stay connected to that story. We're going to follow it to the end. But my last story is this mother's plea. You know, there's a lot of nightmares that can happen in this world. And one of the worst nightmares is when something happens to your child. 20-year-old, he lived with his mom, going to school and working. Mom said he rarely ever went out. But for some reason, he decided to go to this house party. He goes to a house party. I guess it was a swim party. Not quite sure all the details. Now he's gone. No longer alive. And the mother just knew early on, she just had a feeling something wasn't right. She called the police, she asked the police, but you know what's sad? And I understand it, but it's still sad. When you're an adult, they can't, like if 2 hours is going by and you're a child and I'm like, oh, my child is missing, right away they put out an Amber Alert. But when you're an adult, they don't do it because they're like, the adult could be somewhere partying, just not picking up your phone call. The adult could be doing this. They're an adult. They just can't do it. But this mother went early on. She was looking for her child. She just knew something wasn't right. And next day, they found him dead in the pool at the house where he went to the party. It's just sad. 20 years old and he's gone. Another quick update I want to tell you, which I'm sure most of you have seen. The Malcolm Jamal Warner Jr. story is more stuff coming out about the details. He was actually swimming with his daughter. And they saved the daughter and couldn't save him. And they said they worked on him for about 45 minutes. It's very sad. And this is nothing against him. May he rest in peace. This is just to all of us out there that go on vacation. I don't know. Sometimes people, when they go on vacation, they become like daredevils. I never understand why people ignore danger signs. They said there were signs everywhere saying it's dangerous to swim in this particular area. If that's the case, I don't understand why they don't just have signs, but they don't rope it off also. My heart breaks for his family. But I just want to say this to everyone. We got to learn lessons from some of these stories that we talk about over here. When you go on vacation, don't be no daredevil. It's not the time. Whether you're on vacation or you're at home and there's a sign up on the beach that said this is a dangerous area, how about you stay away from that area? Just me, I'm going to say this. This is just me talking to y'all. I wouldn't particularly be swimming on a beach and there's no bodyguard. I'm saying bodyguard, lifeguard. All right, so you're a good swimmer, but they have lifeguards for a reason. The sooner someone knows you are in distress, the better off you're going to be. Don't swim at your own risk. Swim when there's lifeguards around. And if you're away, swim in that swimming pool and don't go out to the beach and only swim at the swimming pool when there's a lifeguard there. You just got to learn from these lessons. My heart breaks because in memory of this little girl, I was swimming with daddy. I don't know, somebody help me, and now daddy's gone. It's very sad. It's heart-wrenching. And Yolanda said there was more than one sign posted. I don't know. It's devastating. Going too soon for real. 54. Had a whole life to live with his wife and his daughter. And now he's not here. But I just wanted to give that update. How are people able to surf on large amounts of water and not go down? You know, light brown sugar sister, Diva's a wrong person to ask because I can't swim. And I don't be playing no water games. I'm just petrified. I don't know. The water is so tricky. It really is. And I don't think people should live their life in fear. But I do feel that, you know, you got to be smart about these things. Diva, once years ago, I went to Mexico and the red flags were up and I went into my calves and that water pulled me down. That was so scary. I'm sure it was very scary. Oh, God bless you that you're still here. Yeah. They don't have the resources for lifeguards. Commissioner Sammons didn't want to help. Well, guess what? They're being cheap. How now has now cost them a boatload in potential tourism. Yeah. You know, but a lot of these jobs now, they want one person to do the job of like 20 people. It's crazy. And to me, there's some things you should never skip on, and a lifeguard is one of them. It's very sad. But y'all know what time it is, right? What time is it, people? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Tragic. We got Shannon Sharpe. He's still being sued by somebody else. And now that other person wants the sex tape from the suit that he already settled. And the judge said yes. Shannon Sharpe's in trouble. You know what else I read too? I'm sorry, this is a side note. It just popped in my head. Ramir, all of a sudden, the young man that has been fighting Jay-Z saying, you are the father, and I need you to take a paternity test. Out of the blue, after all these years of fighting, out of the blue, Ramir drops his case. He been fighting and he got it to the place where they was forcing Jay-Z to take the test, and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. He filed a petition with the court today to just drop his, he just dropped it. Well, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but it's been dropped. But anyway, Shannon Sharpe, Diamond Tankard, and the moms plead ignored. We're going to talk about, let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Bad Bunny, he must have got paid. Yolanda, yeah. H. Fisher, what the what? That's what I said. I wonder how much money he got to go somewhere and just shut up. Anyway, people, let me go ahead and share screen so we could get into this one more into the stories. Where is it at? Let's do the update first on the man that got punched. If you was with us with trending topics the other night, you know this story. Let's take a listen.
They wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared.
Just see that video made me go back to the moment when I was 22. It hurted. It made me upset.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen what my son did that I had to do. And he shot right. And he did right. To see that It's a hurting feeling to be a father that loved God first, and to see all my kids not being able to wake up in the morning and get a phone call saying your child is gone.
Wow.
That's a hurting feeling, but I thank God
Yes.
because God got him.
I want you to try to put yourself in our shoes. Try to put yourself in William's shoes just for a second. The police stop you and tell you, you say, why are you stopping me? And they say, well, you don't have your headlights on and it's raining. And you look and you're like, there's no rain. Why are you stopping me? And all he does, while it says a Rosa Parks 21st century moment, he, as a Black person, says, you know, I'm tired of it. I'm going to try to demand my constitutional rights. That's the only thing that William McNeil did. And that's the only thing you would want your children to do, to say, as a citizen, don't I have the right to know why you're violating my Fourth Amendment rights against search and seizure unlawfully? That's it, nothing more. So search your hearts, America. If this was your child, wouldn't you be proud that William kept his calmness and his demeanor and de-escalated it? And let that govern you when you call on the sheriff to hold these police officers accountable, because that's what we have to get here. We have to have accountability.
Ooh, oh, it's a lot. He spoke out. Anything on that really quick, Savannah? Your thoughts?
Good evening, Diva. Good evening, panel. As we mentioned the other night on when we talked about this story, it's thank goodness for the dash cams, because we would have never knew the real situation, how things played out, because the police report does not match what is being played on that video to this day. And the chief of police has not reprimanded those officers that were involved, because there was 2 in the original when they pulled him over, and other patrol cars came upon him, and then they pulled him out and proceeded to beat on him. So I hope for every kick, every punch, every kick be $1 million, every punch be $1 million, that he gets a great payout from the city. It's hard to see how heartbreaking it is that a father has to have this conversation with a child to stay calm in these situations just so you can make it home alive, even if it means at the cost of your own dignity. And so this young man handled it correctly. But I hope that the city pays out a great lump sum of money and that things change. But it's going to have to start with changing the chief of police.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Savannah. They need to pay out, need to pay big. I was happy the way he handled the situation, because, like I said, if it been somebody else, one of these boys that just don't care, it could have been a whole different way. He handled it. They punched him in his face. I mean, in his face. Like, I think he was in shock. I really do. But I hope he get everything that's coming to him, because he's gonna need dental work, mental work, and they need to replace. They got to replace his window. You got to replace his dignity, because they took that from him. So I hope he get everything that he deserved. I really do. And Ben Crump, I know he happy because he's making money off these police officers. And it was another guy they just did this to. It's just he slammed him into a tree. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I hope he get as much as he can. That's all I got.
Yeah. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, it's very helpful, not helpful, very hurtful when you look at the father. And it's hurtful to see your child being assaulted and you can't do a thing. I can only imagine the rage in that man, what he would have wanted to do and you can't do. And the sad part about it is that our children go out there and do all that, comply and do all that, and don't come home. They comply, they do what they say, they find a reason that they don't go home. That's the sad part about it. And it's like nothing you can do. And then when people do go out and rage and do this, they want to look at them crazy. When they go out and rage and unalive some of these officers, like I said before, and they want sympathy and empathy for the officers and their family and their children they left behind. When I see stuff like this and the abuse, I have no empathy for their mama, for their children, for their dog, for their cat. I have no empathy or sympathy for any of them when their lives are cut short. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So that was one of our updates. I'm going to go ahead and roll into this first story. I'm not quite understanding how this is going to help this Michelle, but the judge granted her to have Shannon Sharpe not destroy this tape because she's going to be able to utilize it in her lawsuit against him. So shock evidence. Shannon Sharpe judge demands ESPN star and OnlyFans model accuser do not destroy S-tape evidence in second lawsuit. So inside the email sent to model's attorney, Tony Busby from Sharpe's other R accuser. So a judge presiding over a case against ESPN star Shannon Sharpe has demanded that the star or accuser not destroy a sex tape to preserve evidence in a second lawsuit. The order covers all copies of an S tape involving Sharpe and his accuser and OnlyFans model referred to as Jane Doe, who settled her $50 million lawsuit with the famed sportscaster on Friday. Sharpe stepped away from his role on First Take and declined those accusations against him, slamming the now settled mega bust suit as a shakedown. The judge order on the sex tape stems from a lawsuit filed by another woman who accused Sharpe of R, Michelle Evans. The U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal in the order Evans demanded that Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, and Sharpe and anyone else with a copy of the recording refrain from destroying the alleged tape. On Tuesday, the judge in the case ruled in favor of Evans and ordered that the tape and any other recordings between Sharpe and Doe be preserved. The tape, which Doe's attorney Tony Busby previously called key evidence, purportedly shows Sharpe and Jane Doe engaged in X acts. The existence of the tape was initially disclosed publicly by Sportscaster himself just days after Jane Doe's lawsuit was filed in Las Vegas in April. Doe alleged Sharpe 57 R in late 2024 and again in early 2025 when she was just 20 years old. I believe Busby is going to release a 30-second clip of an S tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you can possibly imagine, Sharpe said of the tape. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. The sex tape preserved. Evans included an email she sent Jane Doe's attorney specifically demanding that the tape not be destroyed in her request to the court. I'm writing to place you on formal notice that you are in possession of evidence that is or may be relevant to ongoing or anticipated litigation involving Shannon Sharpe, Evans wrote. Specifically, I have reason to believe that you possess video or audio recordings that depict or relate to Mr. Sharpe's interaction with Jane Doe, which may be central to claims raised in existing or forthcoming legal actions. Evans' letter to the attorney continued, you are hereby directed to preserve and not destroy, or to conceal, overwrite, or otherwise tamper with any and all materials in your possession, custody, or control that may relate to the matters described above. Now, that is a Michelle Evans that is accusing Shannon Sharpe of arming her. So Michelle Evans accused Shannon Sharpe of arming her in 2010 and claimed in her own lawsuit that since then the ESPN star has continued to attack her publicly. The U.S. Sun reached out to Busby and Sharpe's attorney for a response. Jane Doe settled her $50 million lawsuit, and the case was dismissed with prejudice, which means the woman cannot refile her claim against the famed sportscaster. Hold on one second, guys. Sharpe stepped away from his role on First Take in the wake of Jane Doe's lawsuit. Rachel Evans' lawsuit. Evans currently has 2 cases pending in court against Sharpe. The first was filed in 2023 for defamation, in which she alleged the former ESPN star had armed her and then engaged in a public attack on her. The second case was filed in 2024 against various networks Sharpe has appeared on. In that suit, Evans alleged that the former NFL star has perpetrated gender-motivated violence against her, which included physical violence, harassment, threats, coercion, and other forms of abusive conduct. Evans has added the various networks and media entities, as she alleged in the suit, that they have participated in the production, broadcasting, and publication of harassing, defamatory, and retaliatory statements made by defendant Shannon Sharpe about the plaintiff. Allegation of R. In the lawsuit filed on December 20th, 2023 in New York Supreme Court, Evans recounted a confrontation from 2010, describing it as the biggest argument that we ever got in. The ESPN First Take star has firmly denied all allegations. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, Evans claimed he was controlling, he was domineering, he was mishandling me, and he wanted to have relations, and I told him no. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his pee in my mouth, and after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed, and that was all a struggle. I had said no, and I kept saying no. So it was the hardest thing. Yeah, this is just too hard, Evans said, her voice trembling as she recounted the alleged incident, appearing visibly distressed. Evans revealed that she initially did not plan to report the incident to the authorities or involve the police. However, in her 2023 lawsuit, she alleged that Sharpe threatened her to ensue her silence. He started coming at me, saying that if I told anyone, he'd use everyone he knows to ruin me, which he basically has, she alleged. Evans claimed that following the incident, Sharpe began making threats against her, which ultimately led her to seek a restraining order. In her 2010 restraining order, Evans alleged Sharpe forced her to have sex with him. He repeatedly calls and threatens her life. Sharpe places Evans under surveillance and calls to say he is watching. In response to Evans' interview with the U.S. Sun, Sharpe's team referenced a statement from his attorney, Mitchell, Schuster. It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit that alleged relationship, it read. In many cases, those stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact. Sadly, Miss Evans became obsessed with Shannon and decided to manufacture a claim against him. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. Well, a judge did help her out and say, and I don't know, I'm just trying to find out, how is it that a tape with him with someone else is going to help her? I'm not sure. Maybe just to show his behavior. I'm not sure. But Savannah, what are your thoughts? He's still in hot water.
As he should be. And I don't understand what is her end game with wanting this tape not destroyed either. Because if this is the same Michelle that leaked in quotation marks video came out about a year ago of him. I don't remember, it was Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, but I remember there was a leaked video of him. If this is the same Michelle, she has been dealing with Shannon and their toxic relationship for over a decade. So she keeps coming back. So I don't understand what her end game is, because I just think she's looking for a big payday like Gabby. And it's you've had your the one thing about Michelle, though, her story has never faltered. She has said the same story over and over again, but to continue going back to this man and having a relationship with him in whatever shape or fashion. So I'm not sure what her end game is here. And by not destroying a videotape of someone else's encounter, I mean, his pattern has been proven by video, text. So I don't think that the not destroying that videotape is even necessary. I just think she's putting 20 on 10 and wanting a big payday like Gabby. I think her time has come and gone, and she's not going to get anywhere near as nice, and she's not going to be able to retire like Gabby, basically. So what's her name? Michelle, you lost your opportunity. You need to go sit down.
Yeah. Wayne, your thoughts?
This just sounds like the beginning of the end. I think more things are going to come out. I just think it's just, when you pay, you've seen it, everybody starts coming out. This may be the big one, but I just think it's just more going to trickle down. That's why I just said I just believe it's going to be the beginning of the end. That's it.
Yeah. Julius, your thoughts?
I guess it's his time to roast. That's it. That's all.
Thank you, Julius. You ain't lie. Katrina, your thoughts?
My thing is, if you had paid all this money and a tape was out there, my first thing is, look, if we doing a plea deal or whatever, hand me this tape, and this should be the only copy. Give me this tape before I sign up all this money to you. That's what I would have did. If you had paid the other girl, and she was the one on the tape, my thing is, so this tape would not come nowhere because I'm paying you. I'm doing a plea deal, whatever. My thing is, I would have got that tape before I signed them paperwork before to give her all that money. Now I don't know how it's gonna play into the other ladies. Maybe they want to see that he's aggressive or something like that. But she's not accusing him of the R. She's accusing him of assault by grabbing her by the neck, right? Or am I missing it?
No, but you know what though? The thing that has to be found out that I'm not sure about yet is when did the settlement happen versus when did she put in her request?
Exactly.
So, and I think it all happened before the settlement. So I think she sent a letter off saying, please don't destroy this because I'm asking the court if I could utilize it. So he might have made his settlement, but knew when he was making his settlement that he wasn't going to be able to have that tape destroyed because she already put her request in.
Okay. But I wouldn't listen. That tape had to been gone. I'm sorry. I'm not signing all this money over to her, and I still can be ruined too. So I mean, that's what he gets. Somebody must have knocked the Mario coins out his head. But then again, Cat Williams did tell him all things going to be exposed. It's ironic that the man that helped you make millions is now you losing those millions. As he said, all things will be exposed, and now you've been exposed. Oh wow. But yeah, I hope these women get what they deserve. But you know, when one come out here, well, she already been out, but she didn't get what she wanted because she never settled. But her story never changed. Um, well, next time he would know better, and I think he's gonna do it again. He's just I think he's gonna do it again because once you keep paying these people off and keep getting away with this stuff, you're gonna do it again. So hopefully this took out enough money out of his pockets that he'll go sit his tail down somewhere. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Yeah. Um, So wait, Fancy said, rumor has it that tape is bad. There's a reason he settled, not just because he wants back on ESPN, but because he knew what is on that tape is bad and would cost him his sponsorship for his shows. I'm sure the tape is bad. Listen, the little message we heard from the phone was bad. So I'm sure that tape is bad. And if this girl wants it preserved and wants it to be used for her case, it's probably because she's going to say exactly what happened to Gabby in that tape happened to me. That's the best I can think about why she wanted that, tape preserved. He's in a lot of trouble. And for Shannon to be 55, he's too grown to be in this particular type of trouble. He's a fool. I don't know when these sports people are going to learn. I don't know when these men with all of this money are going to learn that this is bad, disgusting, nasty behavior that will cost you everything. I'm going to roll into this next story. Diamond Tankard. I don't know if y'all watched this show when it was on Bravo. They're very popular. He's really big in the gospel world. Wrote a lot of gospel songs for people, and this is his granddaughter. Let's get into this story. So I might have to respin this. Bravo's Diamond Tankard arrested for attacking a woman with rock-filled sock at Walmart. Is just absolutely disgusting. I may have to go back to get to the video. Wait, hold on. It may be queuing back up. A former Bravo reality TV star allegedly attacked a customer at a Tennessee Walmart with a sock filled with rocks, then stole the woman's iPhone and Louis Vuitton handbag. Diamond Tankard, 21, approached the victim from behind in the self-checkout lane as she allegedly grabbed the woman's hair at a Walmart about 7 miles away from Nashville International Airport, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by USA Today. Tankard, known for her appearance on Thicker Than Water as gospel producer Ben Tankard's granddaughter, allegedly approached the victim from behind in the self-checkout lane and grabbed her hair. The violent attack caught on security footage and by onlookers recording shows the 21-year-old dressed in a pink shirt and cameo pants, yanking the victim by the hair and laying down a fury of punches. Tankard then is seen whipping out a white and red striped tube sock and striking the other woman in the face. The video appears to show the music eras wearing an ankle monitor during the assault. Following the assault, Tankard was seen picking up items off the ground. The victim later told the police that the former Bravo reality star stole her $1,500 iPhone 14 and her $900 Louis Vuitton bag, that outlet reported. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Oh my God. No, let them fight. Beat her, Diamond. Beat her. Beat her, Diamond. Beat her, Diamond. Beat her, Diamond. Beat her, Diamond. No, let her go. Okay, let her go. Okay. Come on, beat her. You know she came in for not so long.
Just horrible. And then you can see the ankle monitor bracelet she got on her leg there, and she's still out here acting a whole fool. The victim's granddaughter told police that Tankard used a rock-filled sock to hit her 21-year-old granddaughter, and that the blows left her with a massive gash on her forehead above her left eye. Nashville EMS was called to the scene and transported the woman to a local medical center for stitches. Police said Walmart provided security footage of the attack, confirming the victim in her grandmother's statement, USA Today reported. Tankard was arrested and booked into Davidson County Jail. She has been charged with theft of property and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Tankard was released on a $25,000 bond Saturday, and her next court appearance is set for August 22nd. Records obtained by the outlet show. It remains unclear what provoked the assault. The Post reached out to Ben Tankard's representatives for a comment. In December, Tankard was charged with attempted first-degree unaliving after she allegedly intentionally struck a woman with her vehicle, according to law enforcement. What I don't understand is the girl had an ankle monitor on. She was already waiting to go to trial or whatever for this attempted first-degree M. Why did they let her out? Should have never been back out in the streets. Police said that Tankard approached the 30-year-old female victim and her sister as they entered their car after leaving a bar around 12:30 a.m. on November 29th. This is the other situation why she had the ankle monitor on. She didn't ask the victim's sister if she knew a male, to which she replied no, leading to a verbal argument which turned physical. The victim got out of the car and attempted to break up the fight, police said. Tankard then got into her Range Rover, drove to the end of the street, and turned around, accelerating at a high speed before striking the victim. That was her when she was younger and on the show. She then fled the scene, leaving the victim with critical injuries. Tankard was also wearing an ankle monitor for domestic assault-related arrest during the attempted unaliving. She was also charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving injury and failing to render aid during that incident. The gospel music heiress was later released on a, what is that? Is that $1 million bond? So her family keeps getting her out. What lessons is this girl learning? None. Tankard appeared on all 27 episodes of Bravo's Thicker Than Water, according to the the IMDb. The reality show, which ran from 2013 to 2016, centered on the life of her grandfather, a former NBA player turned American gospel jazz music producer, and his family. She's a terror. Wayne, your thoughts?
My thing is, what good is an ankle bracelet if they don't monitor it? I'm sure she wasn't supposed to be at Walmart. And I thought the ankle bracelet is supposed to let them know where you are. If you're not, say you can find, supposed to be to your home or whatever. But I doubt she was supposed to be in Walmart with an ankle bracelet on. And it's probably going to be a next time, but at some point, she needs to be confined. You can't go around hurting people like that. And because you have a couple dollars, get out of it. Exactly. She's the menace to society. That's it.
Julius, your thoughts?
I'm going to set this story out.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. I think she probably had permission, Wayne. They have to check in a certain amount of time when they have a certain amount of time of the day when they have those ankle bracelets on. But the thing is, I guarantee you, it was about a boy. Because you came in and you was swinging, and this nothing that it's not nobody that you didn't know. You knew this person, and you came in and you went in because who's finna fill a sock full of rocks if they're not going in there to get a person? I guarantee you, it was about a boy. And then you took the girl phone and her person, and you got $1 million bond. Girl, you could have bought your own Louis Vuitton, but it's not all about that. It's about, oh, I beat you up and then I took your stuff. Because that's what they do. That's how they talk. But have they bonded her out again? Or is she locked up?
Oh, they bonded her out again. They bonded her out again.
That's what money
So
do.
when she ran over the person, that was $1 million bond. But I thought the ankle bracelet was for that. But the ankle bracelet was for another domestic violence situation. The girl got issues.
She gonna end up unaliving. And listen, she don't have a conscience. She's gonna end up unaliving somebody. This girl don't have a conscience.
No, she
and
don't.
If you don't have a conscience, you would do anything. You must ain't seen them Omen and Damon movies. I've seen them. If you ain't got no conscience, you would do anything. And she don't have a conscience. And she's not worried about what's gonna happen because she feel like if I can pay money, I can get out of it. Just like the Shannon Sharpe thing until it runs out. But they've been letting her get away because who her parents are. I remember that show because I think Michelle from Destiny Child appeared on it one time. But because she got money, the family got money, football or basketball player or whatever he is, because they got money, she's getting out of these situations. And that's a sad thing because she's gonna unalive somebody. This child mental is not there. Her mental abilities is very much gone. This is ridiculous. And that's the thing with the system. They let out the wrong ones and keep the ones that ain't did too much stuff, they keep them locked up. But like we said, money talk. So we'll see what happens with this case. But she need to be locked completely up. That's all I got to do.
Yeah, I don't understand. To me, you got to be violating the rules of your ankle bracelet. You had an ankle bracelet on for DV. Then you run somebody over. They set the bond at $1 million and they let you back in the streets again. And now you have this Walmart incident and they got a $25,000 bond and you back on the streets again. This is egregious. So you just want her to take somebody's life. And will they keep her in then? She could probably take somebody's life and they'll put the bond at $2 million and set her back in the streets again. If I was her mother and father, I'm not paying no bonds for you. We're done. I'm good. You need help. And listen, I won't be surprised if she got a lot of rage in her. There's a lot going on. I won't be surprised when they lock her up finally that she don't wreak havoc inside that jail. She's full of rage.
No, that's when she's going to start crying. Because, see, the consequences haven't hit her yet. Because I'm quite sure when she got arrested or whatsoever, she probably cried then and cried there. See, they want to be hard on the street, but when they get behind them bars, they crying like babies. It hasn't sunk in yet because they haven't given her the consequences of the things that she's done. She's been getting away with it. So wait till she get behind those bars. That anger that she got is gonna turn to fear and it's gonna turn to crying, and it's gonna be too late, girl, because you out here doing the most. You doing too much. You gonna unalive somebody or somebody gonna unalive you. It's gonna go one or the other. Maybe being knocked behind bars will do the best thing for her. But that's all I got.
Woo, let's roll into this last story. This mom's plea was ignored. It's heart-wrenching to me. Let me go ahead and share screen. So mom says her last words to her son were to be careful at a party. He was found dead in the pool the next day. This is a nightmare that I wish I could wake up from. Christina Dunn tells people about her son Tyshawn Todd's death. Christina Dunn still remembers receiving a text message from her 20-year-old son, Tyshawn Todd, on June 17th. He told her that he and a friend were heading to Las Vegas party that had been promoted on Instagram, which struck Dunn as odd because Tyshawn rarely went to parties. I'm like, a party? Boy, why do you want to go to a party for? Dunn tells people about her last conversation with Tyshawn, who lived with her. Even though he's 20, he's still a kid to me. So really, my last words to him were, boy, you need to be careful, she says. Tyshawn never returned home. The following day, authorities discovered his body at the residence pool. His cause of death has not been released, but police reportedly classified his death at the time as a possible drowning. I'm pretty much still just speechless, Dunn tells People. I'm extremely emotional. This is a pain that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Dunn says her son, who loved basketball, was attending the College of Southern Nevada and studying business management. He had just gotten a job offer at his old high school, a teacher's assistant position. She said he was supposed to start on August the 1st. He really wasn't even a partier, Dunn adds. This was only his second party ever in his life. That's why everybody is just so shaken up, because that's not even him. According to a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department report obtained by People, officers were first notified about the large party on June 17th at around 8:30 p.m. local time. Upon arriving at the residence, they shut down the party. Later that evening, after Dunn found out through Tyshawn's friend that her son was missing, she immediately headed over to the residence herself and contacted police. The police report confirmed that Dunn contacted police around 11:30 p.m. to say that her son was missing and last seen at the address. When she arrived at the home, Dunn says she knocked on the front door and was told by the person inside that everyone had left. Still on the phone with police, Dunn says she told them somebody needed to come to the house because something ain't right. Although police did eventually return to the residence, Dunn says she had to call them several times, begging beforehand. Dunn says a sergeant asked if Tyshawn did drugs, had mental health issues, or was with a girlfriend. The answer to all those questions, she said, was no. He was with his friend right here. She records telling police, adding he didn't know anybody else here. But Dunn in the LVNPD said that when police returned to the residence after 1 a.m., they went inside the home and later came out saying that Tyshawn wasn't there. Dunn claims that the search lasted about 5 minutes. It wasn't long enough, she says. After the police left, Dunn says she and her family continued looking for Tyshawn in the area, including at parks and hospitals. When Dunn later went to the police station, she says authorities wouldn't let her speak to an officer, but rather gave her phone numbers concerning missing persons. They were like, well, hasn't been 24 hours. Technically, he's an adult. He's 20. Dunn says of her conversation with the police on the phone. I said, listen, officer, I understand that, but he lives with me. He's a college student. I'm telling you something is wrong. Feeling fed up, Dunn and her family returned to the residence on June 18 to try to talk to neighbors about her son's possible whereabouts. Upon arrival, she saw emergency responders and police tape at the scene. Even before learning what happened, Dunn said she just knew. According to the police report, a person from the home contacted 911 around 12:30 p.m. on June 18, saying that a dead body was found in his pool. The report, which confirmed the victim was Tyshawn, stated that nothing suspicious was found at the scene. Since her son's death, Dunn's issue has been with how the police responded. When I called the police to get there to try to get help, they blew me off, she says. If y'all had searched, you would have found him. He could have been back there trying to get out. He could have been slightly unconscious. He could have been alive. How do we know he wasn't deceased? You didn't check. And if you wouldn't get here, you could have got him out and got him to the hospital. Dunn says that she is awaiting for the coroner's toxicology and has retained an attorney. She also maintains that she has not heard back from police since the discovery of her son's body. Everybody's like, what are the detectives saying? I don't know. They haven't called to offer no sympathy, empathy, condolences. They haven't told me anything, she claims. I have filed a formal complaint with them because I do want everything investigated. The Las Vegas PD did not respond to people's request for a comment. In an email statement, the Clark County Office of the Coroner said his cause and manner of death remains pending. As the family holds out hope for answers, Dunn says she's doing her best to keep going through her grief. This ain't like losing my grandmother or losing a cousin or a friend. This is something different. I feel like my heart is not even beating the same. She says, this is a nightmare that I wish I could wake up from. I just want justice for my son. It's just heart-wrenching. Wayne, your thoughts?
Well, it's going to be unfortunate the police won't be held accountable because, you know, he's an adult, considered an adult and all that. I think that, you know, when you go someplace and you don't know anybody, and this is just a random party on Instagram, you know, I'm just being possible having a party where you draw a victim. You know what I mean? When you get the people there, you spot them out and see who's the weak one, who's this, who's that. You know, maybe get them to do drugs or things they wouldn't do. You know, and by him being so young. So I'm shocked that she hasn't, you know, had an investigation, or they are starting an investigation or something. And I mean, that just seems uncommon. And it's sad that the mom just knew something was wrong and nobody believed her.
Yeah.
And you're doing everything and all those possibilities that could have been, you know, if they had just looked. That's it.
Julius, your thoughts?
They should have listened to the mama. She knew something was off.
Yeah.
And my heart breaks for her. That's it.
Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts?
Okay, he was the only one at this party.
No.
So nobody seen him fall in the pool?
That happens more often than you can even imagine. It's sad, but it does.
And where was this pool party at again?
Well, see, that's the problem. It was some pool party, random pool party that, you know, they saw on Instagram was happening.
And nobody stay in this house? Nobody stay at the house where the pool was at? I'm just saying, nobody lived in the house. Nobody came outside and went outside and
They did, but they
Mike.
found him unalive at 12:30 p.m. I said the
I'm
owner
talking about
did
before
because he
then.
reported it.
I'm talking about before then. Nobody went out and seen, then look for him, you know, knowing that he's missing. Nobody went out the house to see was he around the laying out in the yard or anywhere, and he was out in his pool this whole time. That's a little weird.
What I don't like is the friend. He went with a friend.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Your friend didn't check back on you.
Yeah.
Something ain't right with this story. Your friend didn't check to make sure that you was okay. You didn't go look for your buddy like, I'm okay, man. Let me go see where my buddy at. And you didn't make sure your buddy was back in the car with you. I mean, this is just I don't know if his friend told him, I'm just gonna stay a little while, but if you came with me, you leaving with me. And so you left him there. I mean, and nobody knew he was in this pool. Okay, I'm with the mama because the mama feels. You get those that feeling in that stomach, like, okay, intuition is kicking in, something is not right. You get that feeling. You have that sick feeling all day until you figure out what that feeling is. What's causing that feeling? And I'm just saying, there's something fishy about this story. You my buddy, and we go to a party together, and you don't make sure I make it out all right. I'm stunned on this story. I'm just baffled because that's not how I roll when I go with friends. I don't do stuff like that. I'm gonna make sure my friend's straight as long as I'm straight. So how did you get home? Or it's a lot. It's something is wrong with this. Something is wrong with this story. But I hope she get the resolution that she needs. And they waited to 12:30. Nobody. I'm just saying, nobody checked the pool. Helped his best friend to even go back to the house to make sure he was from out there. I don't know. But you keep us updated on this one, Diva, because this is a head turner right here. And condolences to the mom and his family.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
I will. Something is definitely not right. So let me just give an update. Because remember the McDonald's story I did the other day, not the most recent one, the first one I did. Let me just see where this is at. remember she stabbed somebody in another state, that girl. Well, that particular person has spoken out. Let's take a listen.
Now, justice is going to be served. It's just sad that someone had to lose their life in order for this animal that she is to be caged. Seriously. Okay, so back to where I left off. I left off on a part of her hiding up under one of the ex-employees as well's car. It was a male's car. She hid up under, and I can go more into detail about that later on down the line. But so after, okay, so this is part 3 on what happened at Taco Bell with Effany when myself and she worked there. I just want to say you guys have to be patient with me and understand that I do have PTSD from the situation occurring, and I never thought I would have to relive this story again. I don't feel like justice was served, and I hope that now justice is going to be served. It's just sad that someone had to lose their life in order for this animal that she is to be caged. Seriously. Okay, HR or whatnot, and they, whatever happened in the meeting with them, she still worked there. Like, shockingly, she still worked there. She still was able to come to work every day. I could kind of say they tried to like keep them from working together, but all in all, she still worked there. So she starts back working there or whatever. Nothing changes. She's still like just like me, literally forgot about it because I have my where with those industrial freezers, the metal shelves I'm talking about. And we could work this out, or did I want to press charges? No, I want to press charges. This cuckoo bird tried to take my life. If you ask me, she held me hostage in the freezer. And after that, they still, if you ask me, were considering bringing her back to the job after this happened. They were considering bringing her back. So I of course got some time off of work and with those industrial freezers, the metal. I don't know what he did, but he was able to get the knife off of her and pin her down. They did, surprisingly, this is the funny thing about Taco Bell, okay? They asked if I wanted them to call the police, that I feel like I needed to they wanted to try to see if they could fix anything, because like any job, they're going to try to aid you first with the first aid kit. And disclaimer, I'm driving home, that's why I keep looking off. But they're going to try to aid you with the first aid kit. So they're trying to hurry up and get towels and napkins, whatever, to stop the blood, because I'm bleeding real bad at this point. So they had the nerve, the manager that was on shift at the time, did I need them to call the ambulance for me? And did I want to let them know exactly what happened? They wanted me to lie and say that I got cut on the metal in the freezer, the shelves in the freezer. If you ever worked at Taco Bell or McDonald's, I don't know. No, you calm down. And she just she started slicing me on my arm where I showed you guys, the markings. She started slicing me on my arms. So I'm then screaming because I see me bleed. I'm like, please stop, please stop. Again, I'm asking her, please stop, please stop. You don't have to do this. I'm sorry for whatever I did. What is it I can do? Please, I'm thinking she's going to kill me. I'm asking her, please don't kill me, please. I won't say anything to anybody, just please. And the guy who she hit up under his car and put the shackles on him, he actually ended up, because we were in the freezer too long, he actually ended up coming in the freezer and seeing and kind of I don't know. No, you can't.
Listen, I would say go to her TikTok and find out, but this is the first girl that she cut up, and this girl survived, and the other woman is dead. Some of these people, they just need not get out of jail. So this is what this diamond tankard is headed to. Y'all keep letting her out, the next person is not going to survive. What more evidence do you need to keep somebody behind bars? People are unhinged in these streets. Listen, people, y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Go to this girl's TikTok and you can see it in better sequence. But I just wanted to show you that that one girl from McDonald's, that the manager told her to leave. She came back, stabbed the manager up. The manager is no longer here and left behind 6 children. She in Texas stabbed and cut up this girl, but she said she was locking the people in the freezers. That girl is mental.
Yeah, she's mental because she was sitting in her car doing the Chucky thing, trying to invoke her body into a Chucky doll.
She's crazy. She's crazy. Yeah, listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night, goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo choo.